What if I told you? The biggest lie you've ever believed isn't told by other people. It's the one you keep telling yourself. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow. The most dangerous word in the world, because tomorrow has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. This is the story of Ethan, a 24-year-old dreamer who believed he had all the time in the world. Every morning, Ethan woke up with big plans. I'm going to work out. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to write that book. But 5 minutes later, he was scrolling through social media, watching other people become successful while convincing himself, my time will come. One day, tomorrow. Weeks became months. Months became years. His notebook was still empty. His body was still weak. His bank account was still broken. Nothing changed. Not because he wasn't talented, but because he had become addicted to waiting. One rainy evening, Ethan sat alone in a small cafe. His eyes landed on an old man sitting near the window. The man looked peaceful. Not rich, not famous, just peaceful. As Ethan got up to leave, the old man stopped him. Young man, how long have you been saying you'll start tomorrow? Ethan froze. He had never met this man before. How do you know that? Ethan whispered. The old man smiled. Because I used to be you. I spent 40 years waiting for the perfect time. And then I realized the perfect time never comes. Only people who move create perfect moments. The old man took out an old photograph. It showed a young version of himself standing beside a half-built house. I wanted to finish this house. I kept delaying it. I thought I had plenty of time. Then he looked away. My wife died before we ever lived in it. Silence. Ethan couldn't breathe. The old man looked directly into his eyes. Son, tomorrow isn't promised. It never was. The saddest people aren't the ones who fail. They're the ones who never begin. For the first time in years, Ethan felt fear. Not fear of failure, fear of wasting his life. That night, he couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his mind. Tomorrow is a lie. And for the first time, he decided, maybe tomorrow wasn't the day. Maybe today was. The next morning, for the first time in years, Ethan didn't reach for his phone. He didn't check notifications. He didn't scroll through other people's lives. Instead, he made his bed. It was a tiny action, almost meaningless, but that one simple task felt different, because it was the first promise he had kept to himself. Then he went for a run. Only 5 minutes. His lungs burned. His legs hurt. His mind screamed, go home. But another voice whispered, if you quit now, tomorrow wins again. So he kept running. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became 15. It wasn't about fitness anymore. It was about proving to himself that he could finish something. Days passed. Every morning, Ethan followed one rule. No 0 days, even if he felt tired. He would do 1 push-up, write 1 sentence, read 1 page, save $1. Because small actions defeat big excuses. Weeks later, people started noticing. You're different. You look happier. What changed? Ethan smiled. I stopped waiting, but life wasn't ready to reward him yet. One afternoon, the company where Ethan worked announced massive layoffs. By evening, he had lost his job. Old Ethan would have gone home, blamed bad luck, watched videos all night, and promised to start again on Monday. But this wasn't the old Ethan. He sat quietly on a park bench, closed his eyes, and remembered the old man's words. The saddest people aren't the ones who fail. They're the ones who never begin. He stood up, walked straight home, opened his laptop, and finally started the business idea he had been talking about for 3 years. No perfect logo, no expensive equipment, no investors, just courage. The first week, no customers. Second week, still nothing. Third week, only 1 order. His friends laughed. You left a stable job for this? You'll be back looking for work soon. Those words hurt, more than he wanted to admit. That night, Ethan almost quit. His finger hovered over the delete button. 1 click, and everything would disappear. Then he looked at his reflection in the dark laptop screen. For the first time, he asked himself a different question. Not, what if I fail? But, what if I quit one day before everything changes? He slowly moved his hand away, closed the laptop, and whispered, 1 more day. Sometimes, success doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to the person who refuses to stop. Little did Ethan know. The next morning, a single email would arrive, and it would change his entire life forever. The next morning, Ethan woke up earlier than usual. Not because he was excited, not because he knew something good was coming, but because he had finally learned one important lesson. Winners don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. He opened his laptop. There was one new email. His heart started beating faster. The subject line said, "Your work has been noticed." For a moment, Ethan thought it was a mistake. He opened the email. A company had discovered his small project and wanted to partner with him. The same project everyone laughed at. The same dream he almost deleted. The same dream he almost gave up on. A few months ago, Ethan was sitting in darkness wishing his life would change. But life didn't change when he wished. Life changed when he moved. He remembered the person he used to be. The person who had thousands of dreams, but no action. The person who always said, "I'll do it tomorrow." And then he understood something powerful. Tomorrow was never his enemy. His own excuses were, because tomorrow is just a word people use when they are afraid to start today. People don't fail because they dream too big. They fail because they wait too long. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect version of themselves. But the truth is, you don't become ready and then start. You start, and that's how you become ready. Ethan went back to the cafe where he met the old man. He wanted to thank him, but the old man was not there. The cafe owner smiled when Ethan asked about him. "That old man? He comes here every year. He tells young people the same story." Ethan looked confused. "What story?" The owner replied, "The story of how he wasted most of his life waiting. He doesn't want anyone else to make the same mistake." Ethan smiled, because now he understood. Sometimes, a stranger doesn't enter your life to stay forever. Sometimes, they enter your life just long enough to wake you up. Years later, Ethan became successful. But the biggest achievement wasn't the money. It wasn't the recognition. It wasn't the business. The biggest achievement was becoming the person he once thought he could never become. A person who takes action. A person who keeps promises to himself. A person who doesn't wait for tomorrow. And whenever someone asked him, "What is the secret of your success?" he always gave the same answer. "I stopped believing in tomorrow, and I started respecting today." So remember, your dream doesn't need another day. Your goal doesn't need another excuse. Your future doesn't need more waiting. Because every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you are giving away a piece of your life. The clock is moving. The world is moving. Your opportunity is moving. So start now. Start small. Start scared. But start. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, but today is your chance.